Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, he's slamming Israel directly. He's criticizing Israel and saying that what they're doing is irresponsible, which limits any chance of peace. Usually, he made statements before about certain sides delaying the prospect of a ceasefire because of political reasons, according to him, without naming Benjamin Netanyahu. But now he's outright saying that at a very sensitive period, when this condemnation is coming from European countries, and when they are also applying pressure on Israel. So does that mean that that's it? No more negotiations, and now we need to take action? Someone needs to take action? Well, according to different sources, they're saying that this move coming from Al Thani is actually a move to try and apply pressure on Israel. There was this report here in MAN, which is a Palestinian news agency. Negotiations in Qatar are ongoing and the possibility of reaching an agreement remains. Qatari's Prime Minister's pessimistic statements regarding the stalled negotiations fall within the framework of political pressure on the concerned parties. There is no concerned parties, it's Israel. It's Netanyahu who is actually delaying everything. Now, according to them, they're going to continue and talk, and there's still some sort of hope for ceasefire talks. But, you know, the Qataris and some countries are also applying pressure to try and see if that makes a change. Is it going to make any difference? I mean, the talks about pressuring Israel to allow aid, Israel confirming that by the words of its foreign minister, show that, well, it pushes something to happen, but not to the adequate level, not to the level that is required for the people to have what they need inside of the Gaza Strip. And Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly done that before. I mean, what are they, insane? Are they incompetent, the leaders? Are they playing as if they don't know or don't understand? You have a war criminal. You have a war criminal. You allowed a war criminal to conduct a genocide in Gaza. You still allow him to conduct a genocide. Donald Trump, talk about hypocrisy. He was licking his boots, basically, in his first visit to the United States, moving his seat and oh yeah, welcome and everything, when he was a wanted war criminal, as he still is now. And Trump was threatening the ISIS. This is what you get when you don't comply with international law. This is what you get when you don't take concrete measures against war criminals. They become more and more arrogant and more psychopathic, and they continue to do what they want to do. Well, are we going to pretend like this is now all? No. You should have taken action against this man before to stop him from his barbaric genocide and stop the state of Israel completely. Dismantle apartheid in Israel. That's it. This is what you need to do. Don't talk to him about a Palestinian state here and there and two state. Dismantle the country, dismantle apartheid, Zionism, make it illegal, and then implement a one-state solution, simple, with equal human rights. It's very, very straightforward, but they like to make it appear as if it's too complicated. And oh, it's too complicated, it's difficult. No, it's not difficult to understand. It's not complicated. It's the most straightforward conflict on earth. You have a country ruling with religious and ethnic supremacy through terror and expulsion and genocide. And you have people who have been oppressed for the past century. Very simple. Dismantle apartheid and implement equal rights. Very simple, very straightforward. Now, the people who don't buy into this talking and you know, we told them you need to, and we condemn their actions now, are of course Yemen. Yemen now are escalating, and they are declaring that we are now having a siege on the Haifa port. So Ansarullah had this declaration. armed forces announce a naval blockade on the port of Haifa and war companies against its presence there. This is a new phase coming from Yemen alongside the other escalations that they're having. The aerial blockade. Now they're saying the Haifa port. Haifa port is the gateway of Israel, by the way, to the world. It's the most important port. It's the main point of trade, import and export. Any significant attacks, and if there's an actual blockade on it, Israel gets totally roasted. It's going to have severe measures. I mean, Ansarullah in Yemen, they already led the Eilat port to declare bankruptcy, but now this is another escalation coming from Yemen. They also had one of the Yemeni organizations called the Humanitarian Operations Coordination Center. They issued a statement saying that the maritime navigation prohibition to and from the port of Haifa has been officially imposed. And they're warning everyone, don't go there, you'll be in trouble. Why is Yemen doing that? Is it because Yemen understands something that the rest of the Western establishments pretend like they don't understand, or the rest of the Arab countries pretend like they don't understand? Probably, yeah, which is you're dealing with something problematic with its root, from its roots. You're talking about a violent entity based on violence, established on violence and racism and supremacy and terror. They were only pretending to be different at some points previously in history. Their sponsors in Western establishments were playing ball with them through intimidation, manipulation, distortion. Yemen, from their perspective, are saying, no, we are going to escalate because this is how you deal with them. This is the conclusion that any sane nation should have reached from a very long time ago. Countries that only survive, live, and operate by force and by terror need to be met with something that will stop them. No, not just telling them to stop. I mean, many countries didn't even use any sort of financial leverage. They're talking about sanctions now. Western establishments, the United States and NATO, they moved and they waged wars against nations and countries just because they thought there was a small humanitarian breach here and there. Yet they're blind or pretend to be blind when the victims are Palestinian. Is it going to change at one point? Not sure, but Yemen is not waiting. Why is Yemen not waiting too, by the way? You see, Yemen understands that this is intended to kill not only the people in Palestine, it's intended to kill their spirit. And now, thankfully, we have more ministers in Israel, government ministers, you know. One of them was Amichai Eliyahu, the same man who threatened to nuke Gaza before. This is what he told the Israeli Broadcasting Authority today. The blockade of Gaza aims to break the spirit of its residents in order to pressure Hamas, which is holding the kidnapped. That was according to Amichai Eliyahu. In case you don't know this guy, here's how he looks like. That's Amichai Eliyahu. So he is outright saying we want to break the spirit of the Palestinian people. And that's something so important that we've constantly been talking about. And their psychological warfare and the fact that they want to break the spirit of not only the Palestinians, but everyone who supports them too throughout this barbarism. Yet they fail, like they have failed before. And any future attempts will fail too. It's not the first time he says that, by the way. He said that before. This was one of his previous reports here. Israeli minister government must find a way to encourage Palestinians to leave Gaza and break their spirit. That was also Amichai Eliyahu. That was in January 2024, over a year and a half ago approximately. So you have people who want to kill outright, say that we want to kill the spirit of the Palestinian people. That's why we're conducting a genocide. And from a Yemeni perspective and from the Gazan perspective, they know that. They know that very well. And that's why this Netanyahu cart operation, this is calling Gideon's chariots, Netanyahu's wheelchair or Netanyahu's cart or whatever you want to call it. It's a huge failure. The cart is being demolished by the Palestinian resistance. It's only targeting people. 500 innocent people. They're destroying the rubble. And why are they doing that? To break the spirit. To break the spirit of the people in Gaza. So that they can completely believe that, well, that's it. There is no hope. There's no hope. We need to kill their spirits and expel them from the Gaza Strip.